Easy rewards, 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 easy rewards.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah. Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. It's mentioned, dear viewers of Madani Channel, that the best of creation and the most beautiful creation, the leader of civilization, and the one who will seed for our nation. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he has stated that whoever recites salat upon me on the day of Friday, I will intercede for him on the day of judgment. Allahu Akbar. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, before talking about the topic today in this silsila called Easy Rewards Asan Nekiya, we always try to make targeeb, try to recite our fazilat and excellence about the Durood Sharif. And why am I in every single episode trying to motivate brothers and viewers of Madani Channel and my respected elders, giving them an extra push? Normally you'll see a silsila on Madani Channel and we'll say, the fazilat, the excellence. But why am I personally motivating you to do this more? Why am I emphasizing on this? Because dear viewers on Madani Channel, if you think about it, that in Ramadan, behind the month of Ramadan, one nafal act is equal to a farz act. And one farz act is times by 70. In short, anything you do in this blessed month is multiplied by many and many and many. For example, if you recite peace and blessings upon the best of creation, it says here that the most beautiful creation, it says, the one who recites salat upon me on the Friday, I will intercede for him on the day of judgment. Now look at the horrors that are going to happen on the day of judgment. But what is Sarkar sallallahu ta'ala wasallam saying? What is Aqa alayhi salatu wasalam saying? He's saying that I will intercede for him. I will save him on the day of judgment, the one who recites salat upon me. But as long as he recites salat upon me, imagine the rewards. And this is on any Friday. Imagine now when you do this in Ramadan. Now imagine when you do this on the Friday in Ramadan. How much rewards are you going to get, dear viewers of Madani Channel? It's amazing. It truly is amazing. Make this a habit. Seriously, make this a habit. Honestly, I cannot explain to you that how much your life will change. I know brothers within the environment of Dawat Islami who have made a habit of reciting peace and blessings. Their entire life has changed. Not just here, but in the hereafter as well. Their life is going to change. Why? Because of the blessings of peace and blessings, sending them upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon, sending salawat upon the best of creation sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Their life here has changed. So don't you think that life in the hereafter will change as well? Just by sending, peace and blessings, the barakat and the blessings that you get. Seriously, there's been so many narrations. I can share with you one, dear viewers of Madani Channel, that, a brother, he was reciting peace and blessings, peace and blessings upon the best of creation. He had the financial issues as well. And he thought to himself, he really couldn't see a way out. Sometimes we borrow money of people, we lend money to people. This brother was borrowing, and sometimes it comes to a stage where you can't even borrow off anybody. It's hard for the government to help you. All these things are happening, and you're stressed. You're only doing one job, or you might not even have a job. And imagine in that situation where you owe somebody money, and he's asking for it up front, and or you have to pay a bill or the government or whatever. Because we live here, we have certain responsibilities, we have to do these things. Now this brother, he was in such a state, his entire family, they're in such a state, they're all stressed, but he had hope in the Durood Sharif. And he said, I kept reciting peace and blessings upon the best of creation, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And he goes, Alhamdulillah, swear by Allah to the blessings of recitation upon the best of creation, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. things had all become clear and easy for me. All my financial issues, alhamdulillah, they were cleared. And he goes, I have such a yaqeen. And not only him, many brothers, not just in the Mahal of Dawat Islam, outside of the Mahal of Dawat Islami as well, they have such a yaqeen in the Durood Sharif. You know, they know that if I send peace and blessings upon the best of creation, mera par ho jayega. You know, I will be okay in this world and I will be content, and definitely in the hereafter, especially after listening to this. Never mind what happens in this world. The Prophet Muhammad says, the one who recites salat upon me on a Friday, I myself will intercede for him on the Day of Judgment. Allahu Akbar. Make this a habit, dear viewers of Madani Channel, especially in this month of Ramadan. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Welcome, dear viewers of Madani Channel, yet again to our silsila called Easy Rewards. And Easy Rewards is Asan Nekiya. And what is this silsila Easy Rewards? And in these episodes, what do we talk about? Dear viewers of Madani Channel, we speak about how in our everyday lives we do things on a daily basis, and we don't even realize that this could be a good deed. Ye bhi neki hai, or ye bhi bas neki nahi hai, ye asan neki hai. You know, this isn't just a good deed, but this is also an easy deed. Why, dear viewers of Madani Channel? And why in Ramadan? Because Dawat Islami's beautiful mindset is to refrain from every single sin and to do as much as good as you can, doing every single good. Refrain from all the negative, do all the positive. Why is our mindset the other way, dear viewers of Madani Channel? That we try to think about all the negatives. You know, we won't even think about it. We'll just do it. But when it comes to the positives, we have to think once, twice, 3 times, 12 times. You know, we think a lot. You know, this Dawat Islami, alhamdulillah, and this silsila that Dawat Islami is presenting on Madani Channel. Keep watching Madani Channel, dear viewers of Madani Channel. Why? Because you have silsila like this that remind me and you that not just in any other days, but in the days of Ramadan, let's change, let's do the effort, let's make the effort. Let's not only think about the negatives, let's think about them properly, refrain from them. Please Allah and His Rasul, don't do things as a formality. And now everything we're doing part of our daily routines, those things that we have to do anyway. For example, eating, sleeping, drinking, sitting up, changing our clothes, leaving the house, coming to the masjid, leaving the masjid, dropping our kids to the work, dropping our kids to school, picking them up, sitting in the car, walking to the masjid, coming back from the masjid, going to Taraweeh, fasting. All these things we have to do. Certain things we do in Ramadan especially, like read the Quran, our jazba, passion, all this etc increases. Now while this is increasing, Dawat Islami is here, dear viewers of Madani Channel. This silsila is telling you that ye bhi neki hai. This easy thing that you're doing, that's part of your daily routine. This is something you have to do anyway. So it's not something just there. Don't let that go to waste. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, Dawat Islami gives you that beautiful mindset. Ye bhi neki hai. This is also a good deed. Not just a good deed. This is an easy reward as well. Refrain from the bad and keep doing the good. And alhamdulillah azawajal, today's topic, you know, in the last topic, we talked about, last 3 topics you could say, kind of a joint thing, where we talked about the blessed parents and how a child should have love towards his parents. Then we talked about the intentions of having children. And then we talked about in the last episode, you know, naming a child. These are things that we have to do. They're part of our society. They're normal. Respecting parents, you know, is it, you know, for them, and, you know, having children as well. Intentions, what intentions do you have? And then naming a child. These things that you have to do anyway, you know, for a lot of people. So what are the good intentions? What are the bad? And today now we're moving on from that, and we're going on to other relatives, other family members. And today's topic is about the intentions of treating relatives with kindness. And this is such a vast topic, dear viewers of Madani Channel. There's a lot to get through. But again, like in every single topic, we try to also mention that, you know, in every episode, that what way should we be following? What is the best way? You know, Islam is a way of life. And what way of life? The best way. What way? The Sunnah way. The way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. We also try to point out certain Sunnah that me and you can act upon, and how, you know, the blessed Prophet Muhammad has described certain things in his blessed ahadith and in his blessed Sunnahs. You know, what can we learn from this? And how do we refrain from the negative? Don't do the formalities and only do the positive. And this, dear viewers of Madani Channel, I'm sure you'll agree with me that this is such a topic, treating relatives with kindness. We lack this today. Unfortunately, we lack this a lot. If you look at, just a couple of centuries back, or not even a couple of centuries, a couple of generations back, how times have changed. That love of treating relatives with kindness, going the extra mile for your relative, because he's your Muslim brother or your Muslim sister, but you're going forward because not as a Muslim brother only, but he's your blood Muslim brother. She's your blood Muslim sister. That's your cousin sister. That's your uncle. That's your auntie. That's your granddad, grandma, nani, nana, pupo, hala, chachi, chacha. We go the extra mile in those times. But today, unfortunately, and I know you will agree with me, dear viewers of Madani Channel, there's a lot of negatives. And I'm only going to try to mention, because time doesn't allow me, but I will try to mention some, and then I'll try to go into, some, after the negatives, some of the good intentions that we can make and what we can think about, especially in this beautiful month of Ramadan. Remember, every single thing that we do that is a nafil act is also equivalent to a fard act, and every fard act is times by 70. This means that every single thing we do generally will be multiplied by many good deeds through the mercy of Allah and through His beloved Habib sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. But dear viewers of Madani Channel, we have to start somewhere, and I'm telling you, start with Madani Channel. Learn your knowledge, and learn how to change, how to be a better Muslim. Learn the Quran and the Sunnah of, the words of Allah, the commandments of Allah, and the Sunnah of the best of creation. This way, inshallah, you will earn a yearning to adopt the lifestyle and change yourself, because you will start to see the blessings of the Sunnah and the Quran taking place in your life. You will start to see certain things happen for you. Alhamdulillah, you will start to see blessings in this life. Definitely, you will gain more blessings in the hereafter. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. So dear viewers of Madani Channel, if we go straight into it, the negatives of treating relatives with kindness, this is a very vast topic, but if we think about how many relatives do we have right now that we trust, we treat with kindness, we really love as a Muslim for the sake of Allah and His Rasul, and we are patient with them. How many relatives, dear viewers of Madani Channel, do you know right now? Not your own brothers and sisters, not your own mother and father. I'm just talking about the outer circle. Your uncles and aunties, your cousins, and your daddy and your dada. We're starting from there. How many of them do you trust? How many of them do you love and go the extra mile for them? And then, if you can't think of anybody, then think to yourself, dear viewers of Madani Channel, that how much effort have you put in? How much have you tried to gain their trust? And how much have you tried, to learn about them, get them to trust you, you to trust them? How much patience have you had with them? How much love have you shown to them? How many times have you gone the extra mile? So you see, dear viewers of Madani Channel, straight off the bat, we look at treating relatives with kindness, but the real reality is we don't do anything for our own relatives. That's why today our relatives don't do nothing for us. There's no love between us today, and one of the biggest negatives is this all into one, that we don't have patience towards them and they don't have patience towards us. We truly don't love them and they truly don't love us. And within the love, we look at another topic, that how do we know that we don't love them and they don't love us? Because we're not willing to go the extra mile to help them, and they're not willing to go the extra mile to help you. When you're stuck with money, when you're stuck with problems, when you're at the hospital, when you're ill in a bed, who's there for you? Do they come to visit you? And then it's another thing them coming. Why are they coming? Why are you going? If it's the other way around, it's to go give them talk. In Midbury we say talk marnesta. This means that we're going to, give him one or two lectures, drop it to him, say to him, I told you this and this and this, and now you're ill, now you're like this, now you're in trouble. we try to make him feel low. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, this is how it's become in today's society in terms of treating our relatives. We're doing, we're pointing one finger and they're pointing one finger. But you both don't realize that, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. You're not treating them with kindness, with patience, with happiness, love, all this kind of thing. So, there's so many things about treating relatives with kindness. How many negatives and how many doors of negativities that open up towards sin, towards haram. Because what happens generally then, dear viewers of Madani Channel, we don't remember the good of our relatives. We tend to just think about the bad. It's so bad. It's such a poison, dear viewers of Madani Channel. And today, this topic, treating relatives with kindness, that what do? We end up going home and we do ghibat, ma'adallah wa a'udhu billah. A clear violation in the Quran. We're going against it. The Quran says, don't backbite. The Prophet says, don't backbite. It's haram. It is like eating the flesh of your Muslim brother or sister when you talk bad about them behind their back. What do? Not only, this is another topic that has opened another door, but this is what I'm trying to explain to you, dear viewers of Madani Channel. How many doors open we don't even know when it comes to relatives, because we're not treating them with patience, kindness or love. What happens then? When we don't treat them like this, we end up having hatred. When we have hatred, we end up talking about them in our homes. And when we talk about them like this in our homes, then we wonder why our kids is not giving salam to my brother, her uncle, or why my son isn't giving salam to his popo, my younger sister. Why isn't my son giving salam or giving the extra mile or has love for their grandma or granddad or the nani or the nani jan? We're the same people who worry and think why, but you're the same people who sit at home and point their fingers at X, Y, and Z and say, he's like this, he's like this, he's like this. I hate this person, I don't like that person, I wish he wasn't my relative. Astaghfirullah wa a'udhu billah, you're going against the will of Allah. Allah knows what's best for you. He's your brother for a reason. He's your sister for a reason. That's your cousin for a reason. That's your uncle for a reason. That's your auntie for a reason. That's your nana for a reason. Who are you to sit there and say that I don't like them? You should be very careful, dear viewers of Madani Channel. This is one thing that's bad enough as it is. But then you're putting this poison, you've put a seed, a thorn in the child's mind and in his heart against these people. Because you will sit there and think, this is what happens always. You sit there and think bad about these people. But then in front of your children, you act nice. You keep the family. You think to yourself that we need to keep the people, whether it's fake or real. But the kids these day and age, they don't know about what's fake or what's real. If they think that this person is like this and this is how he treated my parents and my parents hate them, why should I even give them salam? Why should I even speak to them? So dear viewers of Madani Channel, the negatives are endless. I just want to mention that be very careful how we treat our relatives. Do we treat them with kindness, patience and happiness? And do we have true love? And are we showing our children? Because remember today you are doing this. You'll sit at home and a father will talk about his own brother, his children's uncle. A father will sit on there and talk about his own mom and dad, about the kids' grandparents. And then the same father will sit there and talk about his sister, their children's pupo, or the children's hala, the children's auntie. But the same father then starts crying in the future. Remember this, dear viewers of Madani Channel. Never forget what I'm saying. The same father will be an uncle one day. The same father will be a grandfather one day. The same father is also a father one day. And he's there and then he thinks to himself, why is my son, my daughter not respecting me, why are my grandchildren not respecting me? Why are my nieces and nephews, why don't they even acknowledge me or give me salam? Remember, dear viewers of Madani Channel, this happens, and this happens a lot. So please be very careful. The negatives are endless in this topic, but I want to, because time doesn't allow me, I want to try and explain some good intentions, because we can talk about negatives in a lot of episodes. But I want to try to talk about some of the intentions of treating relatives with kindness. What are the good intentions? Now we know the bad. Now let's try and move on to the good. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, first and foremost, the intentions of treating relatives with kindness. As in every single topic we mention, why should you treat your relatives with kindness? Why should we eat our food? Why should we drink water? Why should we name our children? Why should we go to the mosque? Everything is all to please Allah and His Rasul. Then watch the barakat that will happen just through that. The barakat that will flow through that intention, alhamdulillah. So that's the very first intention, that you will try and treat your relatives with kindness to please Allah and His Rasul sallallahu ta'ala wasallam. And then another intention mentioned in the book of Amir al-Sunnah, the secret of earning reward. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah. I will treat my relatives well for the sake of reaping rewards. Now what a beautiful intention this is, dear viewers of Madani Channel, that you're not only treating your relatives for the sake of Allah and His Rasul, not only to get their pleasure, but look, it's the month of Ramadan. Everything is times multiplied by many. One sin can also be many, one good deed is many as well. And what is this intention telling us? Treat your relatives well for the sake of reaping rewards. And another intention after that, dear viewers of Madani Channel, alhamdulillah, is that if they need help, I will help them if possible. What a beautiful intention also. Straight away, dear viewers of Madani Channel, the three good intentions outweighing our negatives. Those negatives are saying that we should please them for the sake of Allah and His Rasul. Why should we do that? I will treat them with respect and kindness to gain rewards, gaining the benefit, refraining from the negatives. And then the biggest thing that I've said is going that extra mile. We don't go that extra mile. And what does Amir al-Sunnah, Damat Barakatum al-Aliyah say? He says, go the extra mile. If they need help, I will help them if possible. Now look, we know it's not possible to help every single time. You might not be in a situation to help all the time. But if you are, and you truly are able to, why don't you? Again, this comes back to love. So dear viewers of Madani Channel, if they need help, I will help them if possible. And the final intention I want to mention is that if they hurt me, I will remain patient and continue to treat them well. You know, the four things I said, dear viewers of Madani Channel, the kindness, for the sake of Allah and Rasulullah, the love, going the extra mile and remaining patient. These are the things Amir al-Sunnah has mentioned, that we should be patient with them and continue to treat them well. Even if somebody violates your rights, even if you're look, he's still your Muslim brother or sister. You would do that for the outside, but you would do that for your relatives. Some brothers, they will treat outsiders more kinder, more patient with them, and have love and go the extra mile for them more than their own family. Why? So that people outside think that people outside do your wawa. People outside say, this guy's amazing. Or what about your own family? Remember, Dawat Islamic slogan, I must try to rectify myself and the people of the whole world. Inshallah Azza wa Jal. We don't just rectify one or two people outside. We rectify ourselves first. And with ourselves is our family with us. Then we rectify people of the whole world, inshallah Azza wa Jal. So remember this, the viewers of Madani Channel. The four main things. And Amir al-Sunnah has also mentioned this. Please Allah and His Rasul. Treat them well, your relatives well, with kindness to gain rewards. Help them if they need help. Go the extra mile. And be patient, even if they hurt you. Even if it's not your fault, it's their fault. Be patient with them and still treat them well. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, unfortunately, yet again, we've had to come to an end of this beautiful silsila and this beautiful episode called Easy Rewards. And where we talk about certain topics, your daily activities, your daily routine, things that you have to do anyway. Eating, drinking, sleeping, changing clothes, putting them on, going to the masjid, especially in Ramadan, where we want to read the Quran. And an episode will very soon come here, inshallah, where I talk about the intentions for looking at the Quran, reading the Quran, gaining these rewards, and how much rewards these will be in the beautiful month of Ramadan. But, dear viewers of Madani Channel, we've had to come to an end of this episode. Keep watching Madani Channel, keep watching all the silsila, make an intention to act upon the commandments of Allah Azza wa Jal by looking at the Quran, reading the Quran, understanding it through Madani Channel and through Amir al-Sunnah, and gaining love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam through the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through Madani Channel also, sending peace and blessings upon him, and try to learn as much as you can in this beautiful month. Who knows, we're here today, we might not be here tomorrow. May Allah Azza wa Jalla have forgiveness upon us all, forgive us all without accountability. Ameen bi jahin nabil ameen sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam.
Easy rewards. easy rewards, easy rewards, easy rewards, easy rewards, easy rewards, easy rewards, easy